Hello guys, welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to show you how you can build a quote generation chatbot with Voiceflow and Make.com. You will see a step-by-step guide in this video where I'm going to show you exactly how you can build this for yourself or for your clients. I've also included a Google Doc in the description of my YouTube video, and you can basically download this and open it. You can see all the links, all the prompts I'm using in this video, and also the HTML format I'm going to use to send the quote. For you, it's just copy and paste it. My goal is to give you an understanding how you can use both platforms together and create a similar solution. So yeah, let's dive in. It is a quote generation chatbot. So we will start by gathering the information, and then once we have gathered the information, we are going to generate a price based on the price metrics sheet, which is this. Once we have that, we will add the information in a database and eventually send a quote by email. So if you have opened the Google Doc, which you can find inside my YouTube description, you will see something similar as this. In the first step is the links. So if you click on the first link, you will see the homepage from Voiceflow. So let me go with you over there. Yeah. You will see something like this, and you just have to sign in and create your own account. If you don't have to. If you have to, you don't need to create an account, of course. So let's create an account. And once you have your account in front of you, this seems a bit different. Voiceflow literally updated this whole page like a couple hours ago. So this is quite new, but it's basically the same. You just have to click on new project if you want to create a new chatbot, of course. So click on new project and give it a name. Let's call it quote generation chatbot. The template doesn't matter because we are going to delete everything anyway, so create a project.
Hi there, this is Laura from Acme Solutions Customer.
And you can turn it off and delete this agent step. I'm going to explain a bit what the agent step is and all those other steps. The second step will be, after we have created the project in Voiceflow and created an account in Voiceflow, we'll have to import a function. The function is named pull from Google Sheet. So once again, inside the Google Doc, you will see the link under the links tab, and click on that link. You will be sent to this page, and what you want to do is click on templates. Once we are inside the templates, just type in Google Sheet. Remember, it's a function we are searching for. So this is a template, this is a function from Max Reynolds. And yeah, you'd want to download this function in order to pull this information to the chatbot. So go to this function and download it. I've already downloaded it. If you have downloaded it, go back to the chatbot. Over here. So go back to the chatbot, and then in the left bottom corner you will see content. In the content page you will see tools. So click on tools, and then you will see the small icon, which is import. Here you can import a tool which you just had downloaded. So click on browse and click on the most recent one and import one tool. Now let's go back to the workflow. Click over here on the workflow, and then click on the small circle and go to dev, and then function, and select the function you just have imported it. It is going to ask for you the API key, and we have to make a small adjustment before that. So if you click on the pencil, you'd have to change content to sheet data. Make sure it is exactly in this way, like which you can see over here at line 36, sheet data. If there's any typo, it won't send it back to you. Alright, so once you have changed the content to sheet data, we have to search our API key or create our API key. So once again, go back to the Google Doc, and then you'll see a link to console.cloud.com. So click on that. And then if you don't have to, you have to make an account first. And once you have done everything, you will see something similar as this. And you'd have to create a project. So just a new project, give it a name, and then it will send you back over here. Once you are back, click on Quick Access and APIs and Services. Click then on Library. And over here, you'd want to enable two APIs. The first one is, of course, the Google Sheet. And here we eventually we will get an API key, and the Google Sheet API will work on that. So you have to click on the Google Sheet and click on Enable it. If you have done that, go back to APIs and Services, to Library, and type in distance matrix API. So it's the first one. This will be useful later in this video, but you can already give it access right now. So if your project has access to both of those API keys, go back, and then under Library you will see Credentials and create your API key. And then once you, the way how you have to create your API key is to create credential and then API key, and then this API key you can use inside the Voiceflow chatbot. Alright, so there's my API key. Once back to the Voiceflow chatbot, the third one in the input is the API key, so you have to paste that. Later in this video, this API key comes in handy, so you have to save it somewhere. Just save it in a new tab, or you can save it somewhere else. Let's go back to the chatbot, and then it asks for a spreadsheet link. Make sure the spreadsheet link, you can also find it inside the Google Doc, which is this link. In your case, it doesn't work immediately because that link is closed. Like, you cannot edit anything in it, but you can just copy everything and create your own sheet and paste it there over there. And if you have done that, click on share and make sure it is like anyone with a link, and even with editor. Okay. So once you have done that, you have now the link, copy the link and go back to the chatbot again. And here at spreadsheet link, you can just paste that link. Okay. The range will be the sheet name. In my case, it is cleaning services data with 2 underliners. So if you double click on the name and copy it, and then where you have range, just paste the value over there. That's it. Now the output from this function, you want to save it in a variable. So just create a variable, Google Sheet API. You can name it however you want. In my case, the Google Sheet API is for this project clear enough. So create the variable, and then let's test it out. So let's have a message block, field or succeed. Let's send it to here, and then the Google Sheet API variable. So what you will see is this whole sheet in JSON inside Voiceflow. So if I click on play, There you have it. So everything is in JSON. For example, the last price was 7,000. So let's check that, and there you have it. So everything is saved inside Voiceflow in this variable. You can delete this message block. The next step you want to do is to create a agent step. So quickly, let me explain all these steps. So the first is the agent step, and this agent step is very flexible. You can give it an instruction, a goal eventually, and then it will like gather the information you asked for, and once everything is gathered, it then will continue. It can also answer FAQs. It can also do other actions, for example, get an API call, post API call. So I will show you in a moment how this will looks like inside. Then we have the talk steps, which is message, prompt, image, card, carousel. The message and prompt we are going to create in a moment. The image is just, it speaks for itself. If you want to show the product images, for example, you just can browse and add an image over here. If you want it to be dynamically, you can save a link in a variable, and then, for example, if it's a product recommendation chatbot, you can, every time to ask for a product, you can search the best product, save the image URL in a variable, and then have it over here. So that's the image. Same thing with carousel, with cart and with carousel, but over here with cart you can give it an image, a title, and also a button to click and forward them to the product page, for example. This is just for one, and then carousel is like how many cards you want to. So it can be 4 cards, 3 cards, and like they have more options to choose. For example, a product. The listen button, the listen step, you will have the buttons, the choice, and capture. We are going to use a capture in a moment, so I'm going to explain that in more detail. We have the button, speaks for itself. People, if you have used a chatbot before, sometimes you see a button, and then once they click, you will forward them to another flow. Choice is or listen or the buttons. So this is maybe one of the best things you can do here. You can give it an intent. So for example, very simple, very basic. The first button intent is yes, and another one is no. You can give it an intent. Here. Look at this. So the intent here is yes, triggers this intent when user responds positively. So instead of them clicking on the button, they typed it out yes, then the agent also understands. If it's only button, it doesn't understand. So instead of choosing the button, always choose choice, because you can also add an intent, and if they typed something in, instead of click on the button, the agent still understands this. Capture is like, I've typed something in, and whatever I've typed in will be saved in a variable. You will have 2 ways, save entire user reply or entities. I'm going to dive into this a little bit deeper later on in this video. And then we have the logics where you have conditionals, set, component, and end. We are going to create a set block in a moment as well. But for example, with if conditional, you have a variable, maybe a number. This will be a number and another number. And then you can have like a conditional: if this number is greater than this number, go to this flow. If not, go to that flow. And also with the def, we've already created a function block, which was the first block. The API block, a JavaScript, KB, search, and custom actions. For this video, we are going to use only function and API. So this is a bit how it works. Soon I will make a full course on this whole menu, but for now, just stay simple. Okay, so once we have all the information from this Google Sheet, we'll have to create an agent step. So click on agent, drag it over here, and then connect it with the lines, the connectors I mean, and then create a new agent. So for the sake of this video, I've already created the instructions and have prepared everything over here inside a Google Doc. So inside the Google Doc, you will see the general instructions. Save that. And paste it over here. What you have over here is the general instruction. Here you will tell like what it needs to do, the mission, what tools it has, what exit path it has, what the purpose of this agent step is, and what it can do, can use in like different scenarios. So the agent step, the general instructions, you can also select a AI module, which can be one of the OpenAI modules, Anthropic models from Google, DeepSeek, Llama. Yeah, this is the smarter modules are also always the highest ones. So in this case, it's Cloud 4, GPT 4.1, 2.5 from Gemini. So let's use Cloud 4 and give it a bit more tokens. And yeah, you have the tokens and the temperature. The more on the right the temperature is, the more random it can be, and on the more on the left, how stricter it will be. So for example, if the output must be a strict number, I will say all the way on the left. If it's a chatbot which just answers questions, you can give it a bit more random. But the more the more on the left is like more stricter. It will follow your instructions. Less hallucination it will has. The max tokens, if you have a lot of instructions, a lot of information, you are going to provide it, and the output must be something advanced, long answer, give it a bit more tokens. If it's just a simple input, simple output, you don't need to give it a lot of tokens. This will reduce the amount of tokens, and it will save you on your plan. Okay, so AI module, and then we have the tools. These are functions, API calls, integrations, and we have here the exit paths. So let's create an exit path. If we go to the Google Sheet, to the Google Doc again, you will see under the general instruction we have an exit path, which is the path name is complete quote request. And what it does is this agent step is going to gather all the information, and once we have all the information, it then will trigger this path and continues the flow inside Voiceflow. So let's copy the exit path description, and this is a very important description. Here we are going to explain when to trigger this path and which variables you need to gather once continue, because we want to save whatever the user had said in a variable, of course, so we can continue. So let's quickly do that. It's a bit rapid. I will put the video on speed for this part, but you'd have to create a new variable and then add the description, so the name of the variable, and here's a description, and you'd have to do that 5 times. The last 2 variables, we are not going to do that because I want to explain you how to use the message and the capture steps. So let's do that with the first 5 variables, and then yeah, let's do that. I'm going to speed this video. All right, so here we have those 5 variables. We are going to save the property type, so it can be a office, a garage, you name it. It's for a cleaning company, so it can be all kinds of properties. The area size, if you click on that, we have instructed it in square meters. So I didn't know why it immediately deleted that one. Okay, so we already have given it a description, but if you're going to type something over here, it's going to override the description for this instance, but we don't want that because we have already a description and it will follow that. Yeah, so we have also the button to give it access to the knowledge base. So if you want to give the agent step access to the knowledge base, you can also give that. And you can also give it a description for when to use the knowledge base. So you can, in the general instruction, give it some basic information, and you can say here, if not found here in the general instruction, then go to the knowledge base. Knowledge base is here on the menu. You will see here knowledge base, and here you can add your sources, and then the agent is going to use those sources to answer the question. Okay. Maybe a tip, you can also give the boxes here a color. So mostly I will give a message block a color green, and for example a function or API block a color blue, and also name it. So it's for you easy once you have to, for example, after a couple months you have to adjust something. It's for you easy to understand what is and what it does. So let's give it, for example, this one the color blue. This one will talk to the user directly, so I will give it a green. You can here give it the name of the block. So, all right, so we have the instructions now. Have the knowledge base off. We have the instructions. We have the path exit once we have those 5 variables. Okay, so now we are going to use make.com. Once we have that, we want to calculate from the main address to the address to the customer, how long it takes and how many kilometers it is. Kilometers, we are in Europe, we are using kilometers, and yeah, for instance, this is the way how we see distances, which you can also, later on I will show it to you. You can adjust it to miles if you want to. So click on the exit path and go to dev and then API. Yeah, and then in the API, the first thing you can select is post or get. I will select post, and then it asks me for a URL. So let's create a URL. So in make.com, you can have the webhook. So quickly about make.com, we have also a link here in make.com. Click on the link, make an account, and once you have created the account, you will see like this. Make.com is an automation platform where you can create automations on that with different platforms. For example, you can send emails here. You can have up to 2,000 native integrations in make.com, so you can connect it with CRMs, with email modules. You can search, for example, orders in Shopify, and you name it. You have a lot of things you can do over here. I'm going to show you what kind of modules you have over here. But here you can build automations, and let us create the first small automation. And to do that is to click on the right top corner, create new scenario. So do that, and then you will have all the apps. So let me quickly scroll down to the apps. You will see Pipedrive, you will see a Webhook, Google Sheet, OpenAI, Airtable, Google Maps. So let's scroll a bit down. Any Mail Finder, Microsoft Teams, Facebook Ads Campaign Manager, Mistral AI, Klaviyo, Etsy, etc, etc. And if you click on those, for example Etsy, you can create from here on mail.com a listing, for example. We are not going to do that. In Voiceflow they ask for a URL, so what you have to do is click on the webhook or type in webhook and click on custom webhook, not custom mail hook. This is something else. Custom webhook. Let's give it a name. YouTube demo. And click on save. Voila. And here, copy address to clipboard. So click on that and click on save. Put the scenario on or you have to click first on save and then click on the scenario to make it on and always active. And now you can click on this arrow, and once this goes active, you will see it automatically triggers. So let's trigger it first to test it if the URL is working. So suppose here's the URL, I just paste it here, and then here at body we have to, you can select with form data, URL encoded or raw. If it's raw, you have to type in JSON or in text or XML. Let's do it for form data, is the easiest one. And then we want to send the customer address, right? So the key can be just the name, it doesn't matter, it's for you, it's just for your understanding. And then the value will be in bracket. If you click on the bracket, you can see a list with all the variables. What we want is the variable customer address. That's it. Now, let's send something, let's test or just send a letter. And once you send it, this automatically triggers. So let's do that. Letter A, and voila, it automatically triggered. Let's see what we got. Customer address A. I made a typo over here, I know. But like I said, it doesn't matter a lot, just for your understanding, but the value is important. What you want to do is now go to Google Maps. And the Google Maps function here has a lot of actions, and we want the distance matrix action. So I already had mine connected, but what you have to do is click on add, and remember the API key which we have created in the beginning of this video for the Google Sheet API. That API key we need over here. So if you click on add, you will see the API key. Just paste it over here and click on save. And if you have done everything correctly, it just immediately connects. So the origins is like the main address. Let's say it's Amsterdam. It's like I'm living in the Netherlands, so let's say Amsterdam. And the destination will be the customer address. The travel method will be driving, and I believe it's already set on kilometers. Yeah, metric is kilometers, but it can be also miles, and you can adjust it once you have opened the advanced settings. So this is everything you need to do, and click on save. Then click on the button next to the webhook, next to the Google Maps module, and click on webhook. And then you can only select one action, which is a webhook response. So, so let's have that. Let's keep the status on 200, and let's go back to the Google Doc. In the Google Doc, at JSON and email format, you will see this in yellow. Just copy it from bracket to bracket. Copy everything and paste it over here. Between those quotation marks, we'd have to add the distance. So it will be distance and then text. Duration will be duration and then the text. Just click on that and it automatically adds between those two quotation marks. You might wonder why there is no comma over here. That's how it works with JSON. The last line doesn't have any comma. If you include a comma, it won't work. And let's also delete this extra enter. because it's very, very case sensitive. So if it doesn't work, it's because small issue. If you really cannot find it, just ask ChatGPT or Cloud to help you find the issue. Click on Save, and then Show Advanced Settings, Custom Headers. The key is content type, which is this. So as you can see here, this won't work. Make sure there's no space, like just the content type without any space before. One time I think for 1 hour I was searching why it didn't work, why it didn't send information back to Voiceflow. It was because here was a small space. So that's why. So that's how case sensitive it is for your image. The second one is application JSON. So let's copy it also over here. Value is application JSON. Click on Save. Save the whole scenario and click on this arrow. Let's test it again. And the customer address, let's give it a real address now. So it was the origin address was Amsterdam, let's say Breda. So it's a lot of kilometers, I guess. Let's click on Send, and here you go. It just triggered, and everything was successful. You can see here the customer address was Breda. You can see here the origin was Amsterdam, which I have just typed in. It's a fixed value, and then the destination was the variable we are using from this webhook, which is from the chatbot, which originates from the chatbot. And then if we go to the output, you can see distance is 106 kilometers and the duration is 1 hour and 16 minutes. So this Google distance module did exactly his work. And now let's see if it sent it back. So distance, we had in between those two quotation marks the variable, the distance, and the duration, the same thing. And now let's see in Voiceflow if it has sent the information back, and yes, it did. Once you are testing it out and you want the information back, this has to be filled in. So you have to see some information over here. It's exactly the information from the body in the webhook response. So basically, this is how also you can send information to make.com and also get an answer from that, like a webhook response for that. But we are not finished here yet. We have to save this value in a variable. So the key here is very important and very case sensitive. So if I click on create variable and say distance, it must be the same as what we have in make.com, or else it won't work. So we have now the first variable, which is distance, the object, and saved to variable distance. The object is very important. The name of the variable doesn't matter a lot, but the object name is very important. And the duration is the same thing. So duration, we don't need to add a description over here. So and so distance and duration, voila. So what's going to happen here is now we'll have this API call, we'll send the customer address to make.com. It will come over here and we'll have it filled in the destination. It automatically calculates the distance at the kilometers, and then we'll send it back to Voiceflow. And you can do this with all kinds of cases. For example, I go to scenarios, let's take one. I go, for example, to this one, I think this module. Here you can see we have like 3 API calls, and then we'll have an OpenAI module which has a specific task, is to transform text to structured data, and like the structured data will send back to Voiceflow. This is also one of the cases when I'm using Voiceflow, like make.com more, because they have already integrations which has very advanced actions in it. So that's why I'm using make.com very oftenly. And also I have to send one time the information to this scenario, and this scenario will do it work. So that's a use case where you can use make.com, and then eventually we will send the information back to the chatbot, and it will has like a whole list with information, so which you can see over here. Oh, body. So all this information similar also what we have right now, like this whole list will be sent back to the chatbot. Yeah, so yeah, in general it's like that. Let's go back to the chatbot. So here we'll know in this variable what the distance is and what the duration is. Let's have now a prompt step. We don't have to connect it to any of those boxes yet, but we'll have to create a variable. We'll have to create a prompt. So if you go to the Google Doc, AI instructions, scroll down, you will see here a instruction, and this is the instruction from the Google Doc and for the prompt step. So let's paste it over here. And the input variables is already this, because if you had given it a different name for those property types, area size in the agent step, make sure you have the right one. In this case, it was already in a bracket form, so that's why we have the variable here. The only thing we have to do is to give it the Google Sheet, which we had all the way in the beginning. So if you click on bracket and then search Google Sheet API, here's where you have to add that JSON. So this agent step is going to use this JSON, which is this Google Sheet, gets the inputs, and then it's going to compare what we have in the Google Sheet with what we have over here, and it will give a fair price. So for example, if it's a office and the area size is 500 square meters, it's also weekly, also basic cleaning, but the area size is double, then the price will also go double. Or the area size is 4 times more, the price will be also 4 times more. So that's a bit the logic. It's very simple. Your client or your own company, or if this is for your own company, it might be a formula. So you can also do that. For this video I'm using this, but you can also do a formula, for example. Okay, so we have here the Google Sheet. This will be a whole JSON. The actual value will be very long, and here the values is what we have captured in this agent step. Let's give this agent step also a name, gather information, info. This API block, let's give it a blue color because it's behind the scenes, so mostly I will give it a blue color. And now the prompt step, we have created this prompt. Generate, let's give it a name, generate price. AI module, give it a bit more tokens because the input will be quite long, so you'd want to give it a bit more tokens, and it has to be very strict. It has to give us only a number as output. I'm giving this AI module. I think this AI module is one of the best with what currently is in the market. GPT 4.1 is also very good. Okay, so we have this prompt step, and now we have to go to logic, set, and set the prompt, and whatever the output is, the price in this case for this prompt step will be saved in a variable. So like I explained, this prompt step will give us eventually a price based on the Google Sheet and the inputs, and it will give us only a number, like I have instructed over here. Calculate now and output only the number. That number will be saved in a variable, which is in this case price. This will be used later on once we are going to create the quote for them. All right, so now let's create 2 questions. So click on the circle over here and select the message one. And the first message will be, what is your name? Let's go to capture. let's have it as an entity. Entities are a bit more stricter, and it expects a data type. So if it's an email and I'm giving it a name, it will correct me. It says, hey, I'm waiting for an email, please give me an email. I'll show you in a moment an example. So in this case, it's a name. So data type will be a name. That's it. Same thing with email address, because we have to send the email somewhere. What is your email? So capture, so you have to go to lesson, capture. Like I said, you have the entities and also the entire user reply. Since we're quite strict over here, we want a name, we want an email. That's why I'm using entities. But if it's a inquiry or it is something open, there's an issue and the user wants to type out what the issue is, and you don't know what to expect over here, just change this to entire user reply. So whatever they have typed out, it will be saved in a variable. Whereas with entities, we are expecting the name, and it will not continue once we have a name, unless you have also a exit scenario. So entity for email, create an entity. Let's call it email. Select data type, email. Voila. You can also give it some examples. Yeah, so automatically reprompt. Let's give it also expect a name, first and last name. That's it. Let's give it a value, like an example. I'm going to give it my name. Maybe what will happen if I'm going to generate. Yeah, I'm going to delete that. So just my name is enough. It will understand that. Let's have it also expect an email. It's already going to expect an email, but let's give it a description. You can be more specific. If it's a date, just give it the formatting. If it's something else you are expecting, give it a description, and the AI is going to check that. Values, Abdullah, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Let's give it a fake email. Yes, sir. Okay. If I click on close, it automatically saves. It also automatically reprompt if it's not an email. So let's test it out. So it will go here. I'm going to give it first an email, and let's see what's going to happen. It should say, hey, this is not your name, this is an email, so please give us an email. So Abdullah Yahya 123 at outlook.com. And let's see what's going to happen. It should not continue to the next question. Look at that. Could you please provide your full name, please? So now I'm going to give it Abdullah Yahya. And now it will continue. As you can see over here, what is your email? Same thing. If I give it something else, like a phone number, 06. It seems like you provided a phone number. Could you please provide your email address? Voila. So that's why we have entity. If it was an entire user reply, this one, well, like whatever they have said, told us, it will continue. So it's very flexible. But in this case, we really want an email, or else we will get an error once we are going to send the quote. All right. So what we have over here, we are going to pull the information from the Google Sheet. We are going to gather the information. We are going to get distance and kilometers. We are generating a price, name, email, and now we are going to send a quote for them. So let's again go to dev, and we'll have to create a new scenario. Maybe now you can pause the video and try to do it by yourself. So we'll have to create a scenario where we are going to send all the variables in this module with the price, with the name, with the email, with the distance, kilometer, and duration to make.com all at once. I'm going to continue immediately, but if you want to practice, pause the video and try to do it by yourself. Try to create a new scenario and see if it works by yourself. I'm going to continue, and yeah. So after email, let's have it with API. Again, it will be a post. Let's create a scenario in make.com. Webhook. Custom webhook. And let's call this one send quote. Okay. So let's have that URL over here. Now all the information we have saved will send to that scenario. So enter key. So area size. Different one. Cleaning frequency. The distance. Duration. Price. We have the 5 variables. No, we don't have. Email, important. Name. Although we are not actually going to use the name, but let's still have that. What do we have more? Let's go back to the agents tab over here. So property type. Why there was no variable? Or did I just missed it? Ah, here. Property type. What do we have more? Specific needs. I think this is the last one. Specific. Okay, so we have now all the variables which we have saved in this flow, and we are going to send it to make.com. So yeah, let's test it out. I mean, let's send test data to make.com first, and then we are going to test the whole flow out. So send, it's like just send, give it something random, maybe for email, give it an actual email address. Price can be 99, duration, it all doesn't matter for now. Let's have the scenario on in make.com. And send it over. Voila. There you have it. Okay, so the webhook works and we have now it configured. Let's go back to the flowchart. We are going to add the user info inside the database and also send a quote. So let's go back to make, Google Sheet, add a row. And then my drive, Spreadsheet ID. Price metrics. So search the Google Sheet. Sheet name, if you have several sheets, select that. If it has headers, you will see the headers over here. In this case, it had. So property type is this one. Area size is that one. Cleaning frequency is this one. Specific needs over here. Price over here. That's it. And now we are going to send the quote email, which is the most important thing. Send an email. If you don't want to send immediately an email to the user, we can also create a draft. So then someone can check it in their draft concept, like in the draft folder, and they can adjust the price if they want to, and then send it by themselves. But like 99% of work is already done by the AI. They have to just check it if it's everything correctly. Okay, so 2 is the email address, this. And that's why if it was just entire user reply and they have made a typo or they have filled in their name, we'll use this variable to whatever they have written to, and then there might be an error. So it must be very strictly an email address. So subject, new quote. In HTML format, the HTML format is in the Google Doc and everything which is green. We'd have to fill in the variables, of course, but let's copy everything here first. And then content, and then copy the whole HTML in this format. Okay. So the first variable will be property type. So scroll slow and search where there is property type. I think I just missed it. A bit slower. Here, over here it is. I mean, my screen couldn't scroll a bit more down, so I thought that was everything, but it wasn't. Okay. So the first one was property type. So here you see the variable. We have to adjust, we have to delete this and paste it over here. Area size. Delete that one and have this over here. Cleaning frequency, delete that one and paste the actual variable over there. Specific needs, here over here is the variable. Customer address, delete that one. And where is the customer address? Oh, we didn't include that. Okay, so I'm going to include that in a moment. Yeah, I missed that. So it has to come over here. Yeah, so address, we have to add here the variable in a moment. But let's continue. I think there was, no, we have the price. Oh, here is the price. Price. distance kilometer. So this variable will already so let's have the key away because it is already in a kilometer formatting. So distance is this one. And I think this is everything. Yeah. Let me double check. Yeah, so we'd only have the customer address. But you know what? For the sake of the video, I'm going to give it a address already. Just say Breda. Yeah. But normally you'd have to select the variable. I missed that variable. But I'm going to continue for the sake of this video, but you understand what you have to do basically over there. Yeah, so let's send an email. Let's do it everything from this API block, and then we'll test it out. So so let's say here no property type, office, name is Abdullah, email is this. Oh no, let's delete that email. Let's use this email. Adaptive.com, price is this, duration, distance is 20 kilometer, cleaning frequency is weekly, area size is 40 km. Let's see if it works. So what should happen is at row 46 we have to have here information, and we have to receive an email. So let's have everything saved over here, and yeah, test it out. Voila. So at row 46 you can see office, and oh, I used the wrong variable, the distance, which is not the area size. Cleaning frequency is weekly, specific needs was no, and the price was 99 euros. This was just for testing purposes, of course, but it works. We have added a row, so I'm happy with that. And let's see if the email just arrived. New quote, you can see this is the quote email with, oh, look at that, there's no total price. Okay. Let's go back, that's a small issue. Price, total price. Here, this we have to delete and have it given the actual price with a travel fee. What did it do? Yeah, so let's keep it a bit easier. Let's delete the second part, which is this part. Yeah. So let's try that again. It was everything else correctly. Maybe a space. Yeah, so before every variable, I'd have to give an extra space to make it look a bit nicer. So over here, but I mean, you get the idea. And then once the chatbot has filled in everything, you will have in this for example, I did in the HTML format I've gave you, it will look something similar like this. But in the HTML, you can design your email, so that's why I had it inside in HTML. But okay, let's test the whole flow with the agent step. So let's run it, and everything is on. Oh, save. Yeah, this is important. Okay, hi there. Let's start with what kind of property type it needs to be cleaned. It needs to be cleaned. Let's say Office. By the way, we are at row 47 now, so this has to be filled in. Perfect and Office. It's a bit longer than what I want, but I mean, I can always adjust the prompt in the general instructions, but this is also clear. But we may have a shorter answer, but I understand it. And for testing purposes, let's continue. 200 square meter. Weekly. Excellent. You can see, like in a conversational way, 200 square meters. Great choice. Weekly cleaning. Only the floor, please. Let's say that. So this is the specific need. So once we have that, maybe just one extra question. Oh yeah, my address. So let's say the street in this format. If you go to the variable description, we'd mentioned a very strict format: the street, number, postal code, city, and the country. But if you live in a different country, it may be a different formatting. I live in the Netherlands, so it has to be in this way. Okay, so I think this was the last question. Now it will continue. Look at that. We had this API call, we had a price, maybe behind the scenes we can see the price. Look, if you have the debug mode on, you can see what it did. So it saved distance to 103 kilometers and duration 1 hour and 15 minutes. This is from Amsterdam to the location I just typed in over here. It gave me also a small summary, which is nice. So the price variable is literally a whole analysis, which is not what I want. And this is something we have to reprompt it a bit more stricter, or maybe add an extra AI set, because it will now look a bit weird, but for the rest, everything seems okay. So let's give it my name, email address, and now it's going to send me the email. You can see here that this automation went on, and I just received a new email. It's now 2:23 a.m. and like a minute ago it was. So you can see here, Office, 200 square meters weekly, floor cleaning, Breda. And then like here it should give me the price, total price. It gave me the analysis, what I just mentioned. So this is something we have to reprompt it. Okay. I mean this prompt step. So here we'll say issue, that's why we didn't got a price. We may want to test it out. Let's see if I have the variable, the JSON somewhere. Yeah, I have it. Okay, so let's test it out. We have also a new prompt generated right now. Area size is 200, specific needs no, cleaning frequency is weekly, and property type is like office. Okay, so this is literally the JSON from this Google Sheet API, so I want to test it out. What is going to happen? This happens often, where the output's not exactly what you wanted. Look, this is not what I want. It gave me, the price is accurate, but we got the whole calculation. So let's have the GPT 4.1, see how it does with the same inputs. Voila. So let's do it again. Yeah. It's also consistent, as you can see. So let's have it for one time on. Okay, so same questions, office. I think weekly will be the next answer. $200 square meter. Weekly. No specific. Oh. Floor cleaning. And then an address. There you go. Now everything should be successful. Yes, let's say that. Now it will trigger the exit path. So it will do right now this API call, and then it will give us a price, and the next one will be my name. So it's my name, Abdullah Yahya. My email address is Abdullah Yahya 123 at outlook.com. Now this one will be again activated. Voila, and I just received a new email. What was the email? Oh, it's on my different, on my other email account. Let's do it again, if we can. So, Abdullah Yahya. Yeah, what's your email? Abdullah, not Abdullah, team at adaptiveai.com. So I should now send the same email to this account. Yeah. So you can see just now the other one triggered, and we got row 37, 40, 49. You can see here it was with the whole analysis, which was wrong, and we just fixed it. And the way we fixed it was a different LLM model. But you can, if that didn't work out, I would use a different prompt. And if that didn't work out as well, I would have like let it calculate, give it a calculation, and then a different AI set block where it gets the calculation, and then also with the answer, and it only extracts the answer. And then that was a whole task for that AI set block if that also didn't work out. But changing the LLM worked out. So GPT-401 did this task better than 4.0 Opus. Okay, so this seems good. Let's see the email. You can see here total is this cleaning service, and then for each kilometer we have €1 added, so €1 per kilometer. Office, 200 square meters weekly, floors, etc. So looks all good. Let's have the debug mode out. Debug mode off. This is what the user will see. Of course, they will see the starting message. We answered the first question, and we did it exactly like it did, but we could have also asked it a question, and the agent will answer it, and then re-ask the same question then again. Once we have like all the answers, I confirmed everything is correct. Once I did, it exited from this path to the API, where we got the kilometer, how many kilometers it was in total. So how many kilometers it was in total with this API step. This one gave us a price, which you can see over here. We let the AI generate the price, and I gave it exactly the same 3 inputs, like floor cleaning, weekly, 200 square meters. It gave us 3 times the same question, the same price, even though the formatting wasn't good, but it gave me the same price. As the same with GPT 4.1 and with Opus. So the prices should be correct based on what we have over here. Yeah. What we have more is the answers we had given the agent step. Yeah, we have to add here an extra space, but this is fine, and we can adjust it inside the HTML. But for the sake of this video, I'm not going to do that. You get the idea, and if you don't have any clue how HTML works, just go to Cloud or GPT and let them fix that issue. But just you have to add somewhere a space, and that's it. Yeah, it did it in Google. It added a row in the Google sheet, and it sent me the email. So that's what we wanted. Let's go back to the flow chart. It gathered all the information, generated a price based on what we have over here, and then added the information in the database and sent the quote. I hope this was helpful. We went in depth. I showed you how you create an AI agent in Voiceflow, created a chatbot in there, downloaded the function, we created the API key from Google, created 2 scenarios in make.com, and yeah, the link to the Google Sheet. You may want with this Google Sheet to copy like everything and then create your own. I will have to delete this also for the people who will see this and use that sheet. You will have to copy this and then create your own sheet and use the link. Make sure the link is open. Use the link in the function. The range is the name of the sheet, of course, and then give just the same instructions. You can see here with the instructions, we gave it a very simple task, a couple questions we needed to know, and that's it. You can make it way more, like you can expand this way more, give it more tasks, give it access to the API tools. But this is an idea for like videos I'm going to make soon. So yeah, so make sure you are subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate it. Let me know also in the comments what you think about this video. I'm going to publish this on LinkedIn. So if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, please, let's connect also over there. If you have a company and you want a similar solution, contact me. I will have in the description also my Google Meet link, and there we can have a free meeting for just 30 minutes and discover what I can mean for you or your company. Yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Subscribe, like this video, and see you on the next time.